physiosphere.
That's great. I know I've read that. I'm still, see, being new to integral ecology, I'm learning with the students here. I understand integral theory fairly well, but so I guess it's hard for me quite to get how, so Gaia, you would say then Gaia evolves holarchically? Would you say that?
I would say that, but I also wonder about what is meant by Gaia. Okay. Now, the way in which James Lovelock and Lynn Margulis, who helped develop this concept 30-some years ago, Gaia referred to the self-organizing and self-maintaining activities of life on the surface and maybe a little bit below the surface of the earth to keep in a kind of homeostasis the conditions necessary for life. I mean, to make sure that the contents of gases in the atmosphere stayed pretty much the same, the temperature of the earth stayed, where it needed to be, maintaining the salt, this mineral content of the oceans at a certain level, so that the life system, which was behaving in ways necessary to keep the Gaia stable.
Yes.
That was what they meant by Gaia.
Oh, okay.
That's Gaia.
So the interactive, self-sustaining life system.
Life system, which was organizing and altering the physiosphere. Life organized a physiosphere, transcended, but included the physiosphere.
Yeah.
All right. Now, in what sense did it transcend it? Well, rocks can't get up and run around.
Yes, that's a good point.
Right? Animals get up and run around. Plants even move. They're rooted, but they move around and stuff.
For sure.
So that's something that minerals can't do on their own in that way. So they include the physiosphere, the minerals, but they move beyond the limitations of it, just like consciousness moves beyond the limitations of mere life. So that's the transcend and include. It's not something to do, it just sounds like, since the term transcend is so often associated with transcendence in what has become the bad and wrong sense of ascent, where you leave the body behind.
Yeah, right. And
you
forget everything else. Right.
That's where people get, especially environmentalists, get real worried about what this means. But it doesn't need to be taken in that way.
It just means sort of move up or move beyond.
Right.
Well, this is fascinating, and obviously I'm going to need to spend the hours that you've spent. If you've spent hours, I'm going to spend a lot of hours.
It was hard.
Really integrating that idea of the co-arising. The second excerpt that you kind of focused a little bit more on, and this is troubling, I think, and it's provocative in a sense, but troubling to all of us who are worried about the environment and with global warming and things that we're concerned about right now, of that we can't really kill the planet. I think you said something to that.
No, I think it's...
How did you say that?
I think it's pretty hubristic to imagine
that we're that powerful?
Right. I mean, how would we do that? I mean, even after a total thermonuclear war, 40,000 nuclear bombs blown up by the United States and the Soviet Union, the worst case scenario, okay, there would still be cockroaches. This is what science told us.
Wow.
Right? So
we could obliterate all of humankind and the Earth would still...
we can behave in ways that would seriously undermine the human future. And some argue that we're doing that right now.
Yes.
But it certainly seems implausible to think that we could do away with the whole thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw this. There was a book that came out a year or two ago called, what was it called? Without Us, or Life, Earth Without Us, or After Us. And it was written by, it was a fascinating book. I just can't remember the name. And they made a TV
I think I saw that. It's like,
well, imagine tomorrow, humans just disappeared.
Right.
Not even any corpses. I mean, we're just gone. What would happen? Well, his argument in the book was that eventually the systems would recover. I mean, they would come back, and 1,000, 5,000 years from now, who knows what wouldn't be much left, and we still have pyramids. I suppose there would be some concrete structures left, but so here's my view about this matter. The biggest danger that we faced in the 20th century, and we still face elements of this today, are nuclear weapons. If the Soviet Union and the USA had gone to war, and there was always, people figured it was a 50-50 chance that this would happen. Now that would have been the ultimate ecological nightmare that humans could have produced. I don't see anything worse. I mean, compared to global warming, compared to that, I don't see it the same order of magnitude. Humans will survive global warming, which may or may not be happening because of what we're doing. I mean, we seem to be warming up, although we've this has stopped the last 10 years, cooled off a little bit. So we may be helping to drive that, but you know, it's just very difficult to imagine that that human life in the rest of the planet are going to go down because it warms up a bit. It's been warmer during our time on Earth the last 10,000 years. There have been warmer periods than what they're projecting. So, you know, will cause problems. But humans can adapt to that. There are many other big environmental problems that are being ignored right now because of all this hubbub about global warming.
I think it's a soundbite that they could grab onto that and try to define it.
But my concern is that there's many other things that need our attention that are just people don't even talk about anymore. For everything from malaria and the spread of AIDS and deforestation and issues with agriculture, hunger and lack of education, and you know, the list goes on. Now, we have to do, in a way, everything at once, but to foreground this climate change issue so much, I mean, I can appreciate the fact that there are people concerned about it, and that we should be concerned about it because the climate changes. You know, whether or not we're driving it, climate changes happen. We have to do our best to be prepared for that. But I think right now we're out of balance in regard to this whole issue.